thinking with my baby where I'll be.
Welcome back to Atlantic City and Challenge Atlantic City, the inaugural Challenge Atlantic City. We're on triathlete.com, and our third place finisher today, Natasha Merwe.
That's correct.
Right?
Yes.
Merwe.
Yes.
Merwe. I will get that. South Africa.
I am from South Africa.
Okay.
Been living in Austin, Texas for about 11 years now.
So that's a natural transition, going from South Africa to Austin. You're like, hey, I'm going to move over to Austin, Texas. How does that happen?
Well, I was a tennis player before.
Oh, okay.
And
in South Africa?
In South Africa, and I actually played professional tennis right out of high school.
Really?
And so I played all over the world. I actually lived in Germany playing Bundesliga and then on the pro circuit.
That's real stuff.
I did, yes.
So did you play the French Open, Wimbledon?
As a junior?
Yeah.
And I quit before I got there as a senior. I was
burned
injured
out?
Injured all the time. Yeah, shoulder, back. But my ranking was slowly moving in that direction to where I was getting there. So
I always, you know what would hit me with tennis? One, playing on hard courts all the time. It seems like shin splints would be a huge issue for you guys, and the quick movements back and forth. It just seems that and like you said, your shoulder and the amount of hitting that you're doing on a daily basis. It just seems like overuse syndrome. It has to be so common.
What's so funny is I really haven't touched a tennis racket since I've taken up triathlon, because the one time I did, I'd say maybe a year into triathlon, I hit for like 30 minutes and my whole body was sore for like the next 4 days. But for me, I mean, I had always back injuries just from bending and twisting.
Yes.
And then shoulder injury from serving and just, as you said, that just hitting all the time. But a lot of people have ankle and knee injuries, as you said, from that quick back and forth movement. So,
does it amaze you when you look at, some of the history in a Chrissy Everett, Martina Navratilova, or even today with Rafael Nadal and some of the other guys, just how they've been doing it for so long? How do they do that?
I really don't know. There's one of the girls from South Africa I played with, and she was playing in the Wimbledon, and she got to the third round, lost to Serena Williams.
You played together?
Playing together, yes. And I cannot believe she's still going. I mean, I quit 11 years ago.
And she's still going. Out there.
It's
11 years ago?
Yeah.
So how old were you when you started?
Well, professional, out of high school, I was 18. And
but you were playing, I bet, put a racket in your hand, what, 4 or 5, 6 years old?
4 or 5. My mom was a big tennis player. My dad was very big into sport too. And I have 2 older sisters.
Yes.
One is actually a tennis coach back home.
Okay.
So my mom and my sister went and played tennis, so I was the one
you had no
dragged
option.
On the court, yes.
You were shagging before you knew it.
Yes, that's right. So from 5, I mean, I could hit a ball across the net
when
from
you were 5.
That age.
I can't do it now.
I don't know if I can either.
Oh my
It's been so long.
So was there a point with the injuries? It had to be so depressing, because I'm sure you're like, I've got the talent. I see people who I'm playing with and I grew up with who are having success on this, but they're staying healthy.
Right.
Was there a point where you said, I need to find another sport? Or was there a point where you just said, I need to get my body healthy, and then this triathlon came later?
It came a lot later, actually. Okay. It got to a point, it was a combination of the injuries, but then I was traveling alone for 3 years worldwide. I was just I guess, lonely and tired of it all. And so I then moved to the States and started coaching tennis.
I gotcha.
And I did that for 8 years before, was it 8 years? Before I found triathlon. I only found triathlon when I was 27. I'm 33 right now.
Wow.
So it was a long time, and I was coaching tennis like 40, 50 hours a week, so I didn't really get away from it.
And was that
much.
in Austin, Texas?
I started in New Braunfels. They have a junior tennis academy there.
Okay.
Did that for a year, and then I moved to the country club lifestyle after that in Austin.
Okay.
And then I stayed. I met my husband, and that kept me around.
I was going to say, so was he in the triathlon?
He was in triathlon.
I'm guessing. I'm starting to put the puzzle pieces together. Okay.
Yes.
So he started doing triathlon. You go out and watch and go, oh, this looks cool.
Yes. And I jumped in, and he was super encouraging from the start, and probably the reason I'm here today.
So you start racing, and then all of a sudden you find out, I'm pretty good at this.
Yeah.
Because I was, you're obviously, you were an elite athlete before.
Right, and that definitely helped. The strength carried over. I was immediately the strength from the tennis, all the plyometric work I did
Yes.
carried over to the bike.
Yeah.
I definitely loved that at start, and slowly worked on the swim, and the run has come. But I did my first triathlon, a sprint, and actually won that first try. And then I raced age group for a year and won most of my races
Yeah.
and turned pro the next year.
And so when did you turn pro?
Man, 4 years ago. So
4
I've
years.
been
So
in
you've
the
been-
sport
okay.
for 5.
Yeah.
5 years, and I raced as an age grouper for 1 year and then turned pro.
Pro right away.
Yes.
And what as a pro, what were
Yes.
some of your best races? You were like today. You said,
Yeah.
this is probably my best result, but not my best performance. What was your best performance?
I would say my best performance in an Ironman, I just started really doing Ironman last
Yeah.
year. I did Florida, and I
Yeah.
went 9:29 there.
That's exactly what
Yes.
Laurel went today.
Today, yes. And I just had a very solid race from start to finish. My first Ironman, I did the inaugural Ironman Mont Tremblant.
I heard that's spectacular.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It was an amazing first Ironman
Yeah, yeah.
experience, and hence why I've done so many now.
How many have you done?
I did like 5 last year.
So you're a sick person.
Well, it's kind of by default. You know, you do one and you're like, oh,
I could do
it again.
better.
Yes.
What the heck? I got
Yeah.
a weekend off. I'll go to. You become next thing you know, they're going to call you Peter Vabruzik,
I
and you're going to be
know.
doing 15 a year.
I know.
And not doing anything in between. You just go race.
Right. Well, we'll see.
So with a lot of people who are real athletes like yourself who come to the sport, the technique that comes with swimming
Yes.
seems to be tough, right? Because tennis is a technique sport.
Very much so.
And swimming is a technique sport, right?
Yes.
You can't, you go out and run, you can get faster at running, but swimming, if you're not doing the technique right, you can just flail all day long.
That's right. And I've struggled in my swim the last few years because I could never put the swim time in where you have to do that to
Yes.
get the technique because my shoulder was hurting.
From tennis, yeah.
And I maybe only swam like 2-3 times a week
Yeah.
for the last few years. And this year was the first time I could put some mileage in. And I've made gains, but I've still got
Right, a long way to go.
a long way to go.
Well, but third.
But take it.
So talk a little bit about today. I mean,
Yes.
this is an inaugural race. Have you done many challenge events?
This is my first one.
Your first one.
Yep.
So you come into a brand new race, to
Yeah.
a brand new event group, and like if you go to an Ironman race, you sort of know what to expect.
Right.
If you go to Rev 3, you know what to expect. You come to challenge. Did you have any idea what to expect here? Obviously, you can go online and look what the course is like.
Right.
But were there any surprises for you out there?
There was not. I mean, I expected I've heard such great things
Yes.
about Challenge,
Yes.
and I expected a great production, and they really delivered.
They
I
did,
was
yeah.
so impressed.
Yes.
I mean, just the setting up the first few days, if you needed one person for something, there were 6 of them to do that one. Really?
Yes, yeah.
Parking or, whatever it
Whatever
was.
it was, yeah.
So I expected a great race, and it was. They did a fantastic job, and I love inaugural races too because you get to experience something that
No
the
one
other
else has done.
triathletes have not done yet. So it makes it fun.
And it never happens again.
Exactly.
You can never have a second inaugural race.
Yes.
So during the race today,
Yes.
Where were you after the swim? Were you playing makeup time throughout the
I
day?
was.
Yeah,
I was. There were only 5 of us,
Right.
and I was 5th. And I was playing makeup, but I was right behind 4th. So we came out of transition together.
Yep.
And I passed her immediately, and then I must have passed the 4th place probably around 30 miles in.
Okay.
And then I didn't see Laurel or Jackie until I could see them in the distance at the end. And
Right.
I think they came in about 3 minutes ahead,
Okay.
which is about the time they'd put on me. I think Laurel had actually put 9 minutes on me in the swim.
She did. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so I'd made up some time, but just not enough. And I knew she could run, so
Yeah.
I had it in for me. See what could happen.
What's interesting about this course, especially on the run, there is
Yeah.
no place to hide. It is the sun just beats down, right?
It
It's
is.
hot day,
It is.
and there's no trees, there's no nothing out there. How was it? What Laura was saying, she loved running on the boardwalk because it was springy. It felt like a
It
trampoline.
was, yeah. I
So-
love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any issues with the crowds and stuff? I mean, it's sort of nice to be able to drop a race in where you've got 20,000 people. Because most of
was.
the time in these races, it's, crickets, right? There's nobody out there.
Right.
But today, huge
was
crowds.
awesome.
It's easy to be entertained when there's people
Right.
all over the place.
I think I would have looked around a little bit more if I was had a little more energy because there was so much to look at,
Yeah.
and it was cool. I loved it, and a lot of people who didn't expect the race, as you said,
Right.
inaugural race. I think surprised and enjoying and cheering us on, and
Right.
it was pretty cool. So
you're coming down that last stretch. You know you got a third place, and
Right.
that is really a great performance
Thank you.
because this is you start talking Ironman, you're talking challenge. These are world-class events.
Right.
And when you start getting on the podium in a world-class event, in your mind, you got to be thinking, well, okay, I got third. Why can't I get second? Why can't I win?
in time.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're in no hurry.
I'm in no hurry. I knew it would take time,
Yeah.
and I'm in it for the long haul. So as long as I'm improving somewhere or another,
yes.
every race, that's all I can do. So
Now, do any of your old tennis pro buddies go, wait, you're doing what?
yes, I actually have quite a few.
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
A lot have now gotten into the sport because we're all friends on Facebook. It's
Yes.
hard to hide. And a lot of them also love the sport. It's so challenging. There's always something new to work on, just
Right.
like tennis.
Exactly. Without the
so-
pounding.
yes.
Well, with the pounding.
Kind of.
But a little different pounding. The
Yeah.
side-to-side pounding is different.
Yes, yeah. It's somehow easier on the body. You would never think so, but Ironman is easier than tennis.
Ironman is easier than
Whoa.
tennis. I'm going to tell that to my producer, John, who loves tennis. High point of his life
Yes.
is we did an interview with John McEnroe
Oh,
a couple
really?
years ago.
That's awesome.
That was really
Yeah,
great.
he's a character.
He is really a character. Well, Natasha, thanks so much for taking time. It was really nice to meet you.
You too. And I want to say just it's awesome what you're doing with the Challenge Athletes Foundation.
Oh, that's very nice of you.
I coach Patricia Walsh.
Oh, what a stud.
And she is a stud, and just seeing how much you guys help her, and they need that help, and that's just one. And I used to be coached by Muddy Waters, good friend of yours.
Yes.
Love him. So yeah, I just appreciate everything you've done.
Well, you know, it's cool with someone like a Patricia. You think about it, piece of equipment, right? What does it
Yeah.
take to give somebody a piece of equipment, and it changes everything?
Yeah.
Right. That's the cool part. Is it's when we talk about, oh my God, how can I make a difference? It's not that big a deal to get someone a bike or a hand cycle, whatever it happens to be, and next thing you know,
Yeah.
they're changing the world. And
They are.
and they're changing their lives and inspiring other people, and you see the confidence
Yeah.
that it gives somebody when they know that they can be an athlete.
Yeah.
What can be better than that?
It's incredible.
It's
Yeah.
fun. Well,
Thank
thanks.
you.
And actually, my co-founder, Jeffrey
Yeah.
Eskow, is South African.
Yes, that's right.
And he's very passionate. He just brought a group of cyclists to raise money for CAF to South Africa to show people where he grew up. And actually, it was pretty interesting. I think one day they were going through a game reserve,
Yeah.
right? Going in, and so all the cyclists were waiting to go in to the game reserve.
Yeah.
And the cyclists were like talking to the game warden and said, so do you guys do this every day? And the guy goes, oh no, we've never done it before. And so they were riding through with elephants and all
You're
this.
kidding.
No, and they're like, I hope they don't attack us.
Because I mean, those animals get close to you.
Well, they found
So-
that out, yeah. but they all came back. We did a
Yeah.
count afterwards, and they're all good.
Yeah. Well, wow. Yeah. And you have to go. It's incredible.
I will.
The coast. You'll love it.
Unbelievable.
You'll love it, and the people
Love
are
it.
great. So
You talking about Austin, Texas, or South Africa?
both.
Both. I love it.
That's why I love Texas.
Natasha
Yeah.
has been our guest. This is Challenge Atlantic City. This is our championship edition for the inaugural Challenge Atlantic City. Hold on, everyone. We will be right back.
Under the boardwalk, out of